lives in my hands. She just launched herself at me. I never thought I would die in this way.
Patrick was my everything. The venom was just too much for his body.
This might be it. I might be done.
I never heard my tough Marine cry like he did on that day. I'm a single mom of 3 sons, and after Gustav, I had limbs and trash and trees and roofing from one end of the yard to the next. And I'm thinking, it's just me and Patrick here. How are we going to clean all of this up?
Both my brothers were in Iraq at the same time. I did feel like I was the man in the house. Like I had to take care of my mom.
As a mother, it's very difficult not knowing whether they're going to come home alive. You never think that the one that's the closest to you, that's with you 24 hours a day, is the one that's going to be taken away from me in my own backyard.
My relationship with my mom is really close.
Patrick stepped up to the plate after the hurricane. I would have never made it through Gustav without Patrick.
Me and my mom had already planned to spread mulch around and kind of soak up the water.
I was ready to just get out there and get it done. I never had a feeling anything would go wrong.
When I was lifting the bag up, I knew I didn't mean to catch it on a piece of metal. It ripped open and poured all over my leg. The bag ripped and I thought it was just mulch on my leg. Turned out it wasn't mulch. I looked down and I saw hundreds of ants. I knew it was fire ants right when I got bit because my whole leg was on fire pretty much. It started burning.
All I could just see was Patrick shoot by. So I hollered at him, "Where are you going now?" And he screamed back at me, "I have ants all over me." I'm thinking, oh my God, he's being over dramatic. But when I walked in and he wasn't in his room or he wasn't in the living room, I knew something was up. But I never thought I'd see what I saw.
You need to be passionate. I mean, that's the most important thing about working in Kruger. You need passion. Otherwise, it's just a job. And it's really a place that's close to my heart. But you walk into dangerous situations all the time. Anything can happen at any stage.
When I married him, I knew he was a trails ranger. The major thing that brought us together was the fact that we both loved the Kruger Park. Rudy's eyes drew me to him. You know, they're soft, loving eyes. We've got 2 children. We've got a boy, Ruben, and then a girl, Nadia. The children look up to him for leadership.
It's difficult being away all the time, and also the dangers involved. You know, you never know what's going to happen. As soon as we walked out, especially that area that we walked in, the possibility of elephant, rhino, buffalo, and lion were on the cards. I mean, that's a good area for them. There's a lot of people that come on trail that's afraid. People put their lives in my hands. Their full trust is in me to take care of them. I've been doing wilderness trails for 8 years, and I know what areas to avoid. I know this area is dangerous, don't go in there. I know the dangerous animals I have to look out for. They know that I'm taking care of them. I was leading the trip, and Philip was my assistant on that specific trail. On that first day, we saw a lot of animals. We saw some elephant, rhinos we saw quite close. It was a satisfied group already. I saw just a single vulture descending from the sky, and normally that's a good sign for us that there might be lions or there might be a carcass or whatever. That's something interesting for the people to see. Philip stopped me. He said, "There's a lion." There was excitement through the group, and Philip and I had lots of experiences with lions. I said to people, "Listen, we're not going to stay long because she's going to run, and then that's going to be it." I saw the cubs at that stage. Immediately, I knew that this is now going into a more dangerous situation. You know, lions, especially lionesses, are very protective, especially if you come too close. I saw the lion looking to the one side. She was looking at us. I said to the people, "Okay, we're going to go now. Keep close." We started moving away in single file, and I didn't even walk 3 paces. I heard this sound coming from her. It's so loud, you can't believe it. Immediately, I cocked my rifle, and I said to the group, "Get behind me, stand still, she's coming." I pointed towards the ground in front of her. I shot a warning shot. I still had the hope that she would stop. It didn't faze her at all. I really thought, this is not normal. I immediately cocked again. I'm still going to give her the benefit of the doubt. When she got to about 3 meters, she just launched herself at me.
I ran into the bathroom. And I stuck my leg in there and ran it under cold water. The burning and stinging started. It was the worst pain that I'd ever witnessed. It's over at least about 300 ant bites on my leg.
When I went inside, he was sitting in my bathroom. I lean over the tub and he's got hundreds of bites over his legs and they're swelling rapidly. He said, "Mom, I don't feel very good." He was swelling so intensely and so quickly.
My leg was just like one big swollen pile of ant bites. But then it started getting worse. I started getting a really bad stomach ache. I started having problems breathing.
I looked at him and he didn't look right. His eyes were kind of glassy. I just didn't feel right about the whole situation. We got to the clinic. We went inside to get checked in.
Once I got to the clinic, I started hurting all over, itching all over.
He was kind of quiet. I just had this weird feeling. So I filled out the paperwork and I told him to go back and bring it to the window. He just kind of stopped. And he looked at me with this blank stare on his face. It was like he wasn't even there.
I heard the lion charging. I knew she meant business. Looked up and, scanned the area for where she would be. I knew I had to do something. I don't want to shoot her. She's got cubs. I have to try and get the threat away. We picked up my rifle. I pointed towards the ground in front of her. I shot a warning shot. I still had the hope that she would stop. It didn't faze her at all. I really thought, this is not normal. I immediately cocked again, aimed at her. I'm still going to give her the benefit of the doubt. When she got to about 3 meters, she just launched herself at me. What's happening? I didn't have time to think. I just jumped to the left. But it was so fast when she brushed my leg. I mean, the size of her was amazing. I mean, when she brushed past me, it was just, in my vision, it was just lion. Now I'm not between her and the people anymore. I immediately turned my rifle. Well, now I'm ready for the second shot. As she came into my vision, I shot. She fell. And I immediately felt relief. My only concern is with the group. How are they going to react to me shooting the lion? Is it going to be a relief that I saved them? Are they going to be angry because I shot the lion? The lioness got up again. It was total disbelief from my side. She immediately turned towards me. I knew that now I'm in trouble, because now she got up again, and I'm not cocked for my third round. So she put her claw out, and she grabbed me on my side. My rifle fell out of my hands. And I thought, this is it.
His eyes were rolled in the back of his head, and he was out for probably like 2 minutes. I was shaking him, saying, Patrick, Patrick, and all the nurses and stuff in the clinic came running out there. I knew something was really going on here. They just said, well, you know, he's been out in the heat all day, Donna, and he really hasn't eaten anything, so he may just have gotten a little dizzy and passed out. Even though I was scared, I have to hold it together. I had to hold it together for him. I could see it on his face. Mom, I'm scared. You know, I was like, it's okay. All of a sudden, he just got that strange look on his face again. And I'm thinking, he's fixing to pass out again. Before I could even really get the words out of my mouth, Patrick hit the table. Then I freaked out. I screamed at the nurse, and she came running back in. Something is really wrong here. He woke back up, but he was very disoriented. He was like gasping for air. He said he was having problems swallowing. They took his blood pressure, and I could see the look on the doctor's face that something was not right. I can't believe his blood pressure is this low. Patrick is now in a life-threatening situation. Before we could even get him into the EMS unit, he was in respiratory failure. They loaded us up in the EMS unit. They let me ride with him. I didn't want to leave him alone. I felt like I was in the middle of a nightmare that I was never going to wake up from. I couldn't even speak. I didn't even know what to do. I just sat there and was watching him die in front of me.
The lioness got hold of me. This terrible growling. I could feel the breath. I could feel the nails going into me. I could feel the ripping of my arms. She bit me on my neck. At that stage, I knew that this is it. I was thinking about not living a full life. I'm 34 years old. I couldn't believe that this is my last trail. I couldn't believe that this was happening to me, and I never thought that I would die in this way. I thought about who am I leaving behind? Limerick is going to be alone now with the kids. I just thought I'm never going to see them again. This was my life. At least I died on trail. Well, at least I died, doing what I love. It was a bleak thought. It was just a hope that she would leave me. The thing that went through my mind is try and play dead, have her stop biting me, because biting is going to kill me. I closed my eyes, just lying dead still, and hoping that she would stop. Suddenly, she stopped biting me, just lying with her paws on top of me. I knew it worked, playing dead, and I just could feel the weight of her paws on me. I thought I could maybe get through this. But I knew Philip was still there. And I knew Philip would be scared to shoot while she was mauling me. He would be scared to hit me. Immediately when she stopped mauling me, I just took a breath and I just shouted. Shoot her! I made a mistake by shouting. The lioness realized I was still alive. I could see now she's gonna make sure I'm dead.
I just cannot believe this. At that moment, everything washed away. I mean, all we were doing was working in the yard. You never expect that within the next 3 hours, your child is going to be on life support. And I felt so guilty. You kind of blame yourself because he wouldn't have been out there doing it if I wasn't forcing him to go out there. At that moment, he started throwing up. And he was throwing up blood. There was so much chaos going on in that room, I just could not focus on one thing for any amount of time. It was at that point they made me leave the room. And I just felt so helpless. My body was just numb. I remember sliding down the wall and sitting on the floor and thinking, how am I going to tell his brothers? How am I going to call his dad? I just had a moment where I just lost it. I honestly thought to myself, this is the first time that me and Patrick has ever had a wall between us, ever. Patrick was my everything. And I couldn't understand why they were taking it from me. I thought, this is it. I'm never going to see Patrick again. He's never going to say mom again. There's just no words that a mother can say when you realize your child's slipping away. And I knew at that point he was slipping away. The doctor sat me down and he said, "Donna, I need to talk to you." He explained the situation to me, that the venom was just too much for his body and it was just shutting it down. And that he also had went into cardiac failure when he was in the back, and that they had to shock Patrick back twice. Patrick had over 300 bites on one leg. What was happening? All I kept telling him was, it's just ant bites. You're telling me that my son is dying and he was bitten by ants 3 hours ago. And now my son is in ICU on life support. This is not happening to me. I just cannot believe. And I told the doctor, I said, he has 2 brothers in the Marines. He said, you need to call him and you need to get him here today. As a mother of a Marine, you never think that the one sitting next to you on the couch is going to be the one that you're going to get the dreaded news from. I picked up the phone and I called Lance, his other brother. As soon as I heard his voice, I lost it. And he knew right off what's wrong with Patrick. And I told him, I can't guarantee your brother will make it through the night. I never heard my son cry. My tough Marine cry like he did on the phone that day. And his brother's gonna die before he can make it here.
The lioness realized I was still alive, and she started mauling me again. She was probably trying to drag me somewhere, trying to get more into me to kill me. I felt stupid. I felt stupid for shouting, and now I'm really gonna die. And luckily, when I played dead again, she stopped. Just felt this weight lifted from my body. I could just see her going away from me. I suddenly realized, when I shot her before the attack, the shot from my rifle went through her. So that was, she was limping. I didn't know what damage was done to me because I had no feeling. I couldn't see out of my right eye. I thought she scratched my eye out. I don't think a lot of people can describe the feeling of that kind of relief that I felt. I couldn't believe that I'm alive. I started looking around for the group, and I saw them quite a way away. I was extremely lucky that there was a doctor in the group, My pants were full of blood. My legs were full of blood. I said to her, please just look at me. Look at the damage. She started washing out the wounds with the water that we had. She started binding the wounds. I still didn't know if I was going to make it because people die from infection more than the wounds. I just said to Philip, he must get the radio so we can communicate. But we couldn't get anybody. It was just static. Nobody was coming.
When I first walked in there and I saw all of this stuff hooked up to him, the noise from the respirator, and seeing his chest go up and down with that machine. I just froze at the door. I could not get in that door to go see him. And then it was like somebody pushed me and said, he needs you. And I stayed by his side. I told him that I needed him and that it wasn't his time to go and that he had to come back, that my world didn't turn without Patrick. That at that moment, the world had stopped. And I needed him back to get it spin again. The first night in the hospital was the longest night of my life. Travis and Lance didn't get to the hospital till the next day, that Monday. They arrived. It was the best sight I had saw in 2 days. I needed them, and they were there. I explained to them what was going on. We still didn't know how bad it was or whether he was even going to make it out of this or not. They handled it very well. You know, he's going to be okay, Mom. He's a fighter. You know, you made us what we are. We're going to make it. We're tough. But when they got back there and they saw him, all the tough guys went away. And I think the realization set in that I'm gonna lose my little brother.
It was really disappointing to me that I couldn't find anybody on the radio. I knew I need to get myself out of here. Our main concern is getting the group out of the area to get back to the vehicle safely and getting myself to a hospital. But we're very far from anywhere. I knew that it's now or never. I had to walk out. I instilled with the people, please, this is now very dangerous. They have to walk close together. We're going to walk with a speed because I want to get back to civilization. Must help us look around for animals that could pose a danger because I don't have a rifle with rounds in it. It's still 5 kilometers from the vehicle. I think the group was concerned, maybe a bit nervous because they've seen what can happen in the bush. I tried to reassure them that they mustn't worry. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, if something happens now, what then? I felt, in a sense, useless because I've got the responsibility for the group. But now I couldn't do anything. I couldn't shoot anymore. And I can't protect. It was frustrating, very frustrating. Calling somebody, anybody, come in, every 5 seconds, 10 seconds, and still nobody. My arm started to get stiff and sore. I didn't have any strength left. I actually went to sit down. And suddenly, the radio came to life. And Philip explained to him what happened, and that we needed a helicopter. Chopper is on its way immediately. And that was the best words I heard the whole day. We came around, we landed on the helipad just outside the hospital. And they immediately said they wanted to take me to the operating room because they were afraid the wounds might go septic.
I was in a meeting. I was sitting on the side just listening to the presentation when I started getting calls on my cell phone. When I got a call from one of my friends, I walked to the ladies' room and she basically just said, "Have you heard about Rudy?" I froze for a moment and I said to her, "No, I haven't heard anything." Then she said to me, "Well, Rudy's been attacked by a lion." By the time I got to the hospital, Rudy was already in the operating room. They had Rudy's shirt and his hat. When I held up the shirt, I thought, that somebody coming out of a shirt looking like this with the amount of blood and tearing. I would expect the worst. The moment I saw him, it was just pure relief.
The doctor, after the surgery, came into my room, said to me everything went well. Luckily, she didn't catch any arteries, but unfortunately, she did sever my nerves running down in my arms. To my relief, everything was fine. I did a full eye test on my right eye and everything is perfect. I still can't believe that there was no damage to the eye. When my son came to me, he said to me, "Dad, I mustn't go and walk again. I mustn't go back into the bush. The lions are going to get me. It touched me. I must be there for him in life. It's my life that I need to continue. I've been walking for 8 years. It was time to move on. Try something else that keeps me at home more often. I haven't fulfilled my life on earth yet. The thing that happened to me just opened my eyes. It's almost like a second chance in life. They still need me. That's why I survived.
It was so hard for his brothers to walk in that room, and their brother laying in that bed, and they can't protect him. I can't protect him. It was just so many bites at one time that his body just could not fight it off. He's been a fighter all his life, and he had to fight. I wasn't going to let him quit. I told him that I needed him. And I think he heard. He moved. By Monday night, Patrick had done a complete turnaround. That his vitals had just really come up tremendously, and he seemed to be holding his own.
When I had first woke up, I didn't know what was going on, but I noticed there was a tube down my throat, and then I turned to my side and I saw my mom.
I was just so overjoyed to see his eyes open that I just didn't think about anything else. I leaned over and kissed him, and I told him, I love you. The best moment was when we were all in there with him. He was so surprised, and he cried.
When my brothers walked through the door, I was really, really happy, because it was the first time all three of us had been together in at least a year and a half.
Wow, this is what you live for, was those three boys. They're my biggest accomplishment.
My mom had been in the hospital by my side for at least 2 days, without going home or nothing like that. I always will love her, and she always will love me, and we'll just be there for each other whenever we need each other. It helps me go through the day knowing that there's going to be always somebody there for me.